Hello, class. My name is Felipe Cordova, and for my psychology project, I want to do a video slash podcast discussion about mental toughness and what it takes to maintain and build that, and kind of just thrive on it. The big takeaways for me have been a few books that I have picked up over time and read through that are just those books that as you're reading you're just kind of like feeling that energy within yourself to it just builds you up to the point where once you put the book down, it's like you're like, dang, like I've been wasting all this energy or all this time and senseless things, or thinking negative thoughts of what I can and can't do, and instead of building that strength mentally to pick yourself up and say, what, today I put my foot down and I decide, that based on my old habits, I'm making a change to get to a better position in my life, so that it ties along with happiness and just being good over our own life. I feel that nowadays, well, I would say somewhere along, when I was born to now, like I feel like I can't compare the how tough people are compared to, like they say back in the days, people used to, have thicker skin back then, where, things weren't as sensitive as they are now. I've seen a lot of friends and family who I think have fallen within that thought, or that way of thinking of themselves. And quite honestly, it's like I'll try to have conversations with them and let them know, hey, you know what, like I feel you could do more. Like I believe in you. Like I just try to inspire them and like encourage them to kind of just snap away from that negative thought. I just kind of like envision them kind of like just looking down, like always just having their morale like kind of down, and instead of looking up and being optimistic about things. Like I get certain things happen in our lives, and it hits us, it impacts us, excuse me, where sometimes it does take a little bit longer to get over certain things. But when we really put mind over matter and we start organizing our feelings and thoughts and emotions and and reality itself within our brain, and start kind of taking control of that, I feel that those are the little things that help us build a path, an organized mental path to get where we need to be happy. Because I personally feel like that's the goal I strive for every day, to make sure that what I did today, at the end of the day, what I did yesterday, and my past, it's like I want that to be a compounding um factor towards just being better, happiness and thriving. I feel that it not only does it promote a healthy lifestyle, but it and repetition of building these better habits, and kind of just like slowly dissipating your negative your negativity. You start bringing positive things into life, and all these other things. One book that I read a few years back that kind of like that was like the clicking point for me, that after that book I was like, dang, like what the hell have I been doing x amount of years after a failed relationship, failed marriage. I really beat myself down after that, and it was really hard for me to actually kind of be able to look at the horizon and start looking up and say, what, I need to get to this point. But this book was David Goggins. He's a ex former Navy SEAL. Again, named David Goggins. His book is Can't Hurt Me. Um, it was recommended to me by a friend of mine from where I used to work at, an old coworker. And oh my God, like I'm not kidding. Like I remember going to the gym and like kind of just going to go work out. But I remember I would always, run a few miles on the treadmill and whatnot. But um, if you guys ever get a chance, like definitely check out David Goggins. Can't hurt me because it kind of leads into where he started from nothing. Things weren't going his way. He was overweight. He was trying to get into the military, and he all the odds were just against him. And somehow he, kind of just that switch just kind of clicked him in his mind, and from there he was just able to get to where he wanted to be because he cut the BS out of his life, out of his mindset. He just like became machine mind over matter, like if that makes sorry. I mean, it's the reality. Like we just have to like X out anything, like feelings that even at that point, like just to get where we need to be. But I mean, his book for sure was the turning point for me. Um, then after that, I would say Ryan Muncie's. It's literally called, excuse my language, but it's called "Fuck Your Feelings," and it's this was an audiobook, and Ryan Muncie he's not a famous author, but I mean this audiobook really broke it down to a scientific approach of what's going on with our mental processing of a lot of our feelings, like sometimes like our there's little things that impact our decision making, how nothing has meaning, only that meaning assigned to it, how feelings affect our micro decisions, why feelings lead us to being off course, how to act according on values instead of feelings, how to find enjoyment and things like doing. And I mean, the list goes on. Like these are just little bullet points that I took from my notes, but I mean, I really think that Ryan Muncie kind of just like hit it in the head where we really just gotta say F our feelings sometimes and kind of just block everything and like build this strong person within ourselves who is capable of taking a hit and more, you get me, and just picking yourself up and getting you know where you need to be in life. um Again, I feel that you know a lot of stuff really never goes our way. I'm a firm believer that there's this thing that we say, we jinx ourselves, right? And I feel that it's I think it's Newton's third law where anything that can't go wrong. No, I think it's the first principle, I believe, of Newton, where anything that can go wrong will go wrong. No, sorry, Murphy's law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong, right? And I just kind of like believe that always expect the unexpected. That's the way I translate that. But I mean, I feel like if we were set and we train ourselves to always be able to take a negative input and turn it to and find some kind of like positivity to it, like for sure, like we'll be able to handle things a little bit better. um Another thing is I feel that we're always capable of doing a little bit more than what we think we can. I feel that sometimes, like for example, if you're at the gym or you're a runner, right? You're getting your miles in and you're exhausted. You get to that point where you're just like, okay, like I can't. This is it. I'm tapping out after this set or this next mile. You get me? But sometimes I feel that that's when we have to ascend from where we're at and understand that maybe we could go a little bit more. And I think this goes to what David Goggins would call the 40% rule, that most of us tap into our only 40% of our capabilities when your mind is telling you that you're done, complex completely exhausted, not being able to go any further, only about 40% of your potential. When you get to that 40%, you need to tap into a hidden reserve of energy, motivation, and keep fighting and feel like you're done. That's when you unlock the remaining 60%. I mean, I can vouch for that after reading his book. I feel that that's something that I've kind of just like practiced as I'm doing something, or if I'm, if I'm going to the gym, or, I'm doing schoolwork, or I'm trying to juggle, a couple of things in my life, I'm always like, all right, let's go, let's keep going. There's still some in the tank. Um, a little bit about what I've been doing. Um, I work full time as a automated technician for FedEx. I do a lot of the POC programming and all that stuff. Not too bad of a gig, but I know I could do more. You get me? That's why I decided to pick things up again and say, hey, there's still some in the tank. You think you're where you're at, you're all right, you're good, but you could still keep going. So get that, keep going. There's more in the tank. Um, Aside from working a full time job, I enlisted into the U.S. Air Force Reserves. I've been there for 2 years now, and I mean, I actually this weekend I had mandatory drill for the month, and it's one of those things that now that I'm there and been part of that, it's I look back at when I wasn't, and what I was doing with my life, and how I thought I would never get to that certain to now. Let's just say it like that. Um, and now that I'm here, it's like I look back and I'm like, geez, like I remember when I was down there, thinking how hard and how complex going through that phase was, and that I would never envision where I'm at today because of how hard it was to go through those phases. And I feel that that ties into my personal mental toughness, where I believe that, what, tomorrow's another day. We fight, we regain, we balance ourselves to get where we need to be. And like we just have to like find that energy within us to keep thriving. There's always a way. When there's a when there is a thought that you think that you where you want to be, you could do anything you want. There's a way to, there's somehow that you could get to where you want to be regardless of where you're at now. um I mean, there's another book by Tim Grover. If you guys aren't familiar with Tim Grover, he was a physical therapist for the great Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Okay, so just saying that alone, when I remember reading his book, and it's just like, oh my God, like it was never ending, like paragraph after paragraph of how he described his thought process, or like what he would think when he would look at Michael Jordan on the field or on the court, or Kobe Bryant. And it's always what we looked at today now is called the Mamba mentality, right? But I mean, that's just like the relentless side of someone who's dialed in, that has the grit to say, hey, you know what? Well, you know, when you're putting in the work, you get me? Like, for example, Kobe Bryant, like everybody knows that he used to train, you know, nonstop to be the best player on the court, and not only within the court but also outside of court. Like if I compare Kobe Bryant to a lot of the NBA players nowadays, there's just like no comparison in and out of the court. It was just like lasered in focus, just you know a machine like persona. Um, I mean, regarding psychology and what I have learned through this semester is it's a beautiful thing. The mind's a beautiful thing, and there's so much to discover still within the human mind, and how it's all changing nowadays. You gave me with at the pace that life is going, especially, I mean, social media is a big thing that always feel that's messing things up. It's messing people up in the head. I feel more than ever like you'll hear about people talking about what their concerns in regards to mental health and how important it is. But I mean, I feel like people are shooting themselves in the foot by spending so much time on these platforms where it just drains you and just sucks what I like to say, it just sucks the life out of you, where you know it's it's drying people's energy. I mean, psychologically, um having a good workout, having that runner's high, have feeling that sense, that level of accomplishment, when you're done reading a book, or you for example, you do your homework. It's just like I feel so good, and I'm sure it's not just me. It's scientifically proven that the dopamine you know exists, and things like this help us you know release those, and it's just a cycle that I enjoy doing. Like, you know, if I go put in an hour at the gym, you know, if I choose a healthier lifestyle than a quick, satisfying hamburger or pizza, whatever fast food, people prefer. You get me? But I know it's hard, but I know that at the end of the day, these are little positive compounding habits that will help down the road. I mean, it's a lot of these guys, they're pros for a reason. They say better than I do. I mean, like I said, the way we could exercise and maintain our mental health, like I feel that's by putting in the work. You get me? When our mind says done, like, you should be thinking next. You should be saying, okay, what I got to do next to, you know, keep going. I mean, I personally feel that I'm never done. If it's either work, as soon as I'm out of work, I'm already like thinking about, okay, well, I got a little bit more work to do at home. Gotta take care of business. Gotta do school. Gotta try to find a new book. You know, it's just that's just my way of thinking. But like I said, a lot of these guys are pros. Um, my recommendations as far as books, I said David Goggins, Can't Hurt Me, um, Ryan Muncie's F Your Feelings, um, Tim Grover's Relentless. Again, that was Michael Jordan's and Kobe Bryant's physical therapist, but it wasn't just about this. Was this dude was like their mental coach, and like those, like Tim Grover and David Goggins just alone is mind blowing. But after I finish those books, I'm sure if you guys finish them, you guys will kind of want to continue to pick up these improvement and self development books. Uh, I have one right here with me. The other ones are I gave them out to friends, just to spread out the good juju, I would say, so they could kind of get their crap in line and be a little bit on the positive side. But I mean, this is another book. It's by James Clear. It's called Atomic Habits, and this is one that kind of breaks it down scientifically about the psychology behind having crappy habits and developing better ones, or how to do it. The summary of that one, I would say it's just kind of, there's two lessons, real quick. It's all habits are based on 4 steps pattern, which consist of cue, craving, response, and reward. I mean, I've been going about 20 minutes now, but this one's really good too. Like, if you really want to get into like the science behind that mental, how to kind of unlock your bad habits and how to develop good ones, that one's good. Another one is James Lawrence. This is one that I just picked up. James Lawrence, this guy is completely just like off the charts, like does it all. I'm not sure if you guys know what an Ironman is, but this guy did 50 of them in 50 states in 50 days. So again, I mean, an Ironman consists of, I think it's a marathon, so I mean, it's crazy. It's a marathon, 5 miles, swimming 5 miles, and biking 200 miles. That's just crazy. And he did 50 of them in 50 days. Like I said, these guys are pros. I love to share the knowledge regarding, what it takes. I feel that, deep down inside me, like, there's just grit. There's just days where, I'm just trying to hit the top of, of things and making sure I get things done. And I just feel that that's very important nowadays.